Why is it that for so many, life seems to take a downward trajectory, despite a deep-seated longing for contentment and tranquility? This is a question that lingers in the quiet corridors of many people's thoughts. The solution isn't etched in destiny or dictated by external events. More often than not, it is concealed in the very fabric of our daily lives, in the routines we don't question, the thoughts that pass without notice, and the words that remain unsaid, repeated day after day. A great number of individuals never pause to reflect on how their personal resonance, the energetic frequency they project, is being steadily diminished by these overlooked patterns. They anticipate a significant change in their external world, oblivious to the fact that such a transformation must originate from within. In this exploration, you will be shown the way to seize command of that internal energy. You will uncover the neglected secrets of elevating your vibration, methods that demand neither years of dedicated practice nor advanced spiritual knowledge, but which commence their work the instant you put them into action. This isn't about wishful thinking or unfounded optimism. It's about the mechanics of being present, the craft of self-observation, and the fundamental strength of conscious decision-making. If you are prepared to peer beyond the static of daily life, what you find here could potentially alter your entire existence. Your energy is more than a fleeting sensation. It is a constant companion that you bear with you from one moment to the next. Every single thought, every emotional response, and every internal reaction adds to the frequency you radiate into the world. This energy weaves itself imperceptibly through the tone of your voice, the way you hold your body, and the very air around you. The majority of people never stop to acknowledge it, yet this frequency dictates how they perceive their reality, and how that reality, in turn, engages with them. You cannot see your vibration directly, but you can certainly see its effects reflected in your life, in the caliber of your connections with others, in the manner in which opportunities either manifest or dissolve before your eyes, and in the persistent tension or peace that accompanies you throughout your day. States of low vibration seldom make a grand entrance. They infiltrate your being disguised as ordinary habits and thoughts. It might begin with an offhand grievance, a dismissive comment, or a quiet hum of apprehension. Before you know it, this has initiated a descending spiral. Suddenly, your days feel heavier, a sense of joy feels more elusive, and your inner drive seems to evaporate. These states aren't always pronounced. They often settle in subtly, like a persistent fog lingering in the periphery. However, if they go unaddressed, they harden into a form of energetic gravity, pulling everything else down with them. It is at this juncture that awareness emerges as your unspoken protector. The simple act of observing your own internal weather can be a revolutionary practice. When you transition from being a prisoner of your thoughts to being their impartial observer, you generate space. Space to make a new choice, to ascend, to transform. Recognizing the presence of fear, resentment, or melancholy doesn't imply you must crush it. It means you refuse to be controlled by it. Like a candle ignited in a pitch-black space, awareness doesn't eradicate the darkness. It simply illuminates it, creating the conditions for change to begin. A practical method for cultivating this awareness is the practice of conscious inquiry. When a wave of negativity begins to form, ask yourself, what is the thought I am having at this very moment? Does this line of thinking empower me, or does it deplete me? Is there an alternative viewpoint I have yet to explore? These straightforward questions forge a vital gap between a reactive impulse and a conscious action, a gap wherein your true power resides. You reclaim control over your emotional landscape, not by fighting against it, but by seeing it for what it is. A temporary state, not a defining feature of your identity. With awareness firmly in place, you regain the ability to choose. From that point of choice, your vibration starts to elevate, not through brute force, but through deliberate alignment. You cease waiting for life to improve. Before you allow yourself to feel better, you start leading the charge. Awareness is the beacon at the far end of the tunnel, reminding you that the way out of darkness is not to run headfirst into the unknown, but to switch on your light and proceed with intention. With a foundation of awareness established, the next evolution is the move toward presence. Acknowledging your internal condition is a significant first step, but altering that condition necessitates a full immersion into the now. The present moment is a frequent topic in spiritual discussions, but its true strength is found in its immense practicality. It is the sole domain where genuine choice can be exercised. In the present, the past's narrative of failure loses its grip, and anxiety about a future that may never come to pass dissipates. All that exists is what is unfolding in this instant, and it is here that your energy becomes maximally effective. Presence is not merely a theory to be grasped with the intellect. It is a discipline to be lived. When your mind endlessly cycles through past mistakes or rehearses potential future calamities, your physical body pays the price by absorbing the resulting stress. Your nervous system cannot distinguish a threat conjured by the mind from one that is physically present. This is how anxiety, weariness, and emotional burnout accumulate, as your vital energy is drained away from the present and funneled into timelines where no meaningful action is possible. However, when you guide yourself back to the now, whether through your breath, physical sensations, or focused observation, you gather all that dispersed energy and bring it home to yourself. It feels like retrieving fragments of your essence from the myriad timelines where they had been lost. A tangible gateway to presence is your own breath, not the shallow, automatic breathing of a distracted mind, but deliberate, rhythmic inhales and exhales. I invite you to try this. Breathe in gently through your nose for a count of 4. Hold that breath for a count of 4. Release it through your mouth for 4. And then pause for another 4. This elementary exercise has a profound calming effect on the sympathetic nervous system, aligning the mind and body into a state of coherence. As your breathing decelerates, your mind naturally follows suit. You are no longer at the mercy of your thoughts. You are observing them from a position of quiet strength. Actively engaging your senses provides another pathway. Pause for a moment to truly see your surroundings. Observe the interplay of light and shadow, the fine grain of a wooden surface, the deep blue of the sky. Listen intently to the subtle symphony of sounds, a distant siren, the low hum of an appliance, the steady beat of your own heart. Feel the solidness of your body in its chair, or the connection of your feet to the floor. These sensory inputs might seem minor, but each one is a portal. Each one pulls you more deeply into the profound truth that life is unfolding right now, not inside your head, but in your direct, lived experience. To be present does not mean you shirk your duties or deny your pain. It means you encounter whatever arises with clarity, rather than with the distortion of past programming. You cease to superimpose old stories onto new experiences. You begin to respond with intention, instead of reacting on impulse. Over time, this transition from mental chatter to embodied presence becomes your natural state of being. Your vibration elevates, not because you are wrestling it upward, but because you have stopped fueling the very things that were pulling it down. As presence becomes your way of life, your inner world finds its stability. You come to understand that tranquility is not a prize to be hunted, but a state to be permitted. And within that stillness, life begins to move with a new rhythm, one that is in harmony with your highest potential. The more you are anchored in the now, the less you are shaken by the future. Because from the solid ground of presence, everything becomes workable, mutable, and perhaps even sacred. Your energetic state is not an abstract concept locked away in your mind. It courses through your physical body, influencing your posture, your breathing, and even the subtle muscles in your face. When your vibration takes a dip, it frequently shows up as a tangible sensation of weightiness, a noticeable slump in the shoulders, a shallowness in the breath, a general retreat into physical stillness. This state, which can be misconstrued as simple rest, is often a sign of stagnation in disguise. Energy, much like a current, requires momentum. If it doesn't flow, it can become dammed up in areas it was never meant to inhabit, leading to tension, exhaustion, and a feeling of being confined within your own body. Motion is the dialect of liberation. In the same way that a strong gust of wind can clear out stale air, physical movement can dislodge stagnant energy. Even the most gentle activity, performed with mindful attention, can release what thought alone cannot touch. A few minutes dedicated to conscious stretching can unlock not only tight muscles, but also the trapped emotions they hold. A brisk walk beneath an open sky can clear the mind just as effectively as it fills the lungs. Physical activity is not something distinct from spiritual development. It is one of its most immediate and potent forms. When you put your body in motion, you are inviting circulation, not just of blood and vital fluids, but of awareness itself. The power of movement is amplified by its sheer variety. There is no single prescribed method. For one person, it may be a yoga practice that masterfully blends breath and posture to align the physical and spiritual bodies. For another, it might be unstructured dancing, providing an outlet for the body to articulate what words cannot. Even an act as straightforward as swaying to a piece of evocative music can elevate one's vibration in a remarkable way. These movements don't need to be technically perfect. They simply need to be experienced. The objective is not to achieve physical flawlessness, but to attain energetic freedom. Nature profoundly deepens the effect of this movement. Walking through a forest or along a coastline, for instance, provides more than just physical conditioning. It serves to reset the nervous system, sharpen the senses, and align your internal rhythms with the foundational frequency of the earth. Every step on the soil creates a silent conversation between your body and the ground, a grounding transaction that reaffirms your place within a larger, living system. As Taoist wisdom has long taught, a rigid tree is the one that shatters in the storm. The flexible one bends. Movement is your way of bending. It is how you weather life's tempests without breaking. In those times of emotional heaviness, when your mind feels overwrought and your spirit feels muted, movement can be a type of prayer. It is a declaration that says, I am open to feeling again. I am committed to being fully here. You don't need to wait for motivation to strike. Begin with just 5 minutes. Allow your body to take the lead, and your mind is sure to follow. Through the simple act of putting yourself in motion, you stir dormant energy, signal your readiness for change to the universe, and carve out the space necessary for clarity and joy to find their way back in. The spaces you inhabit are not merely inert backdrops. They are active participants in your energetic life. Every room you walk into, every voice you give your attention to, every piece of media you consume carries its own distinct vibration. These subtle energies will either resonate in harmony with your own inner frequency or create a dissonant clash against it. Without maintaining conscious awareness, it becomes dangerously easy to act as an energetic conduit, passively absorbing the emotional clutter of disorganized environments or the negativity of certain influences without ever being aware of it. Much like a tuning fork will begin to resonate when another one is struck nearby, your personal energy field responds to every single thing it comes into contact with. This is precisely why deliberately curating your environment is not just a matter of aesthetics. It is an essential practice of energetic hygiene. A disorganized living space tends to reflect and even amplify a disorganized mind. Piles of forgotten mail or disorganized shelves can be an outer manifestation of inner stagnation. You can start with the principle of simplicity. Clear off your workspace, open a window to let in fresh air, or introduce elements that feel alive and restorative, such as a source of fresh air, calming colors, or a single object that holds personal significance. These adjustments are far from superficial. They send quiet, powerful signals to your nervous system that peace and order are the intended state. Your external world starts to act as a mirror for your internal aspiration, establishing a positive feedback loop of energetic reinforcement. Beyond your physical space, your relationships and digital diet are powerful shapers of your vibrational climate. Spending significant time with those who perpetually dwell in pessimism, subjecting yourself to a constant stream of cynical news, or falling into the habit of doom scrolling through social media feeds are all activities that will deplete your energy field. Your energy, much like your focus, is a finite and precious commodity. It is imperative to choose with great care where you invest it. Actively seek out voices that inspire, communities that foster growth, and settings that feel like a profound, deep exhalation. This does not mean you must build walls around yourself, but it does mean you must cultivate discernment. As the wisdom goes, do not surround yourself with people who diminish your glow. Instead, seek out those who don't just tolerate your light, but who actively encourage it to burn brighter. Even a single intentional change in your environment, a corner of your home designated as sacred through your intention, a conversation with a friend who speaks from a place of genuine care, a piece of music that makes your heart feel open, can be enough to recalibrate your entire state of being. When your surroundings are in alignment with your goal of vibrating at a higher frequency, personal transformation ceases to feel like an uphill struggle. It becomes, instead, a seamless extension of the very space you occupy. You begin to live in resonance with the very energy you are aspiring to embody. Imagination is not a flight from reality, but rather a workshop for its construction. That which the mind consistently visualizes, the body starts to register as real, and in time, life begins to mirror it. Visualization, therefore, is not mere daydreaming. It is the act of deliberate creation. It works by embedding desired emotional experiences deep within the subconscious mind, where they can germinate and begin to shift your vibrational output. The frequency you project into the world is not solely determined by what is occurring around you. It is profoundly influenced by what you hold as possible and true within you. The practice of visualization starts with a distinct and sensorially rich mental construction, not a vague desire, but a tangible scene that engages all your senses. Envision yourself already living the reality you wish to create. See the details of the setting around you. Feel the associated emotions coursing through you. Hear the ambient sounds, and even notice the quality of the air on your skin. The more intricate and believable the mental picture, the more potently your nervous system will react. Your brain, remarkably, does not clearly distinguish between an intensely imagined event and one that has actually occurred. Consequently, when you visualize a feeling of profound inner security, a state of creative flow, or the successful completion of a cherished project with both clarity and genuine emotion, you are shifting your vibration to align with it, long before the external world has had a chance to conform. This practice is a form of potent mental conditioning. Elite athletes employ it to hone their physical skills, and great innovators use it to stay anchored to their vision. You can harness it to fundamentally rewrite your own internal environment. Each session of visualization acts like a single stone laid in the foundation of a new belief system. With consistency, this structure solidifies. Your subconscious mind starts to adopt this imagined state as its new normal, thereby aligning your automatic thoughts, emotional responses, and subsequent actions with it. Yet, visualization by itself is just one part of the equation. Words must give voice to the vision. Affirmations serve as the verbal complement to your mental imagery, reinforcing what you are building within your mind. Phrases such as, "I am a magnet for positive experiences," "My energy is calm, centered, and strong," or "I am in perfect alignment with the unfolding of my life," evolve from simple sentences into powerful commands. When spoken regularly, written down frequently, and most importantly, felt with conviction, these affirmations begin to etch new neural pathways in the subconscious, supplanting old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering truths. The effectiveness of any affirmation is rooted in its emotional resonance. It is not sufficient to mechanically repeat the words. You must feel their truth. When you declare, "I am worthy of profound joy," allow that feeling to vibrate in your chest, letting it fill the spaces where doubt once resided. Emotion is the adhesive that makes affirmations powerful. The more potent the emotional charge, the more deeply the new belief integrates into your core vibrational signature. In time, the disciplined combination of visualization and affirmation becomes a daily practice of energetic tuning. You no longer passively wait for life to provide you with a reason to feel good. You actively generate that feeling from within. As your belief system transforms, so does your vibration. And as your vibration transforms, life itself begins to rearrange to reflect your new state of being. Visualization acts as the blueprint. Affirmation provides the voice, and together they construct the framework for a reality built upon a higher frequency. There exists an exchange of energy so direct it bypasses thought, so potent it transcends visualization, and so accessible it is available to everyone. Kindness. Acts of generosity are not merely expressions of good character, they are catalysts for vibrational ascent. Each time you extend something of yourself to another person, be it your time, your focused attention, your encouraging words, or your material aid, you set in motion a transfer of energy that elevates not just the one who receives, but also the one who gives. In the very act of extending care, your personal frequency is naturally lifted. The heart opens, the ego's grip loosens, and the persistent illusion that we are all separate beings begins to fade. When kindness is offered with no expectation of return, it functions as a form of spiritual technology. It circumvents the calculating mind and connects with something far more profound, what one might refer to as the soul or the higher self. Helping a coworker with a difficult task, offering a sincere word of encouragement, or simply listening to someone without passing judgment may appear to be minor acts. Yet, on an energetic plane, these moments create ripples that extend far beyond what is immediately visible. You momentarily step outside the confines of your own personal story and into harmony with a much larger current. the rhythm of unity, empathy, and collective well-being. Even during times when you feel personally drained or depleted, making the choice to act with kindness can generate a paradoxical surge of strength. The energy you give from a place of love does not diminish you, it returns and multiplies. This reflects the fundamental law of energetic return. That which you send out inevitably circles back, often amplified. This is why, when you find yourself in your most challenging moments, offering assistance to someone else can be one of the most rapid ways to transform your own frequency. You become a conduit through which positivity can flow, and in doing so, the shadows within your own being start to recede. This is not about making grand, dramatic gestures. In fact, the more subtle and unassuming the act, the more powerful its vibrational impact can be. Holding a door for a stranger, sending a short message to check in on a friend, or mentally sending well wishes to someone you pass on the street. All of these actions elevate the collective energetic field around you. Kindness is a frequency in and of itself. The more consistently you embody it, the more your own life will begin to resonate at that same frequency. You transition from a state of effort to one of ease, from a feeling of lack to one of abundance, not because of what you are trying to acquire, but because of what you are willing to give. Let kindness serve as the ultimate anchor in your practice of vibrational management. It brings to completion the cycle that starts with inner awareness, moves through embodied presence, is fortified by belief, and ultimately expresses itself outward into the world. You become a beacon of light, not by demanding attention, but by simply radiating from your core. By choosing to uplift those around you, you help to construct a world that naturally returns the favor. One compassionate act at a time, you harmonize your personal energy with something eternal, something whole. And within that profound resonance, your vibration not only rises, but it finds a new, elevated place to reside. Elevating your vibration is not an enigmatic process. It is a discipline rooted in awareness, a practice founded on presence, and a commitment to conscious choice. Whether you achieve it through expressing gratitude, focusing on your breath, engaging in movement, surrounding yourself with uplifting influences, affirming your highest truth, or choosing kindness, you already possess all the necessary tools. You do not require more hours in the day or a state of perfect readiness. You only need the will to start. Within every single moment, there exists an opportunity for choice. Within every choice, your energy undergoes a shift. And as your internal frequency adjusts, you will find that your external reality realigns itself to match, effortlessly, profoundly, and irrevocably.